Hi, it's Lisa, and I wanted to come on today and talk to you a little bit about an experience that a lot of you are having as you transition out of teaching and into the corporate world. And that experience is being ghosted by employers. So I am hearing from many of you that you are applying for positions and never hearing back from employers, or even worse, you're interviewing with employers. You feel like it's going well, you feel there's a connection. Maybe you're on like your second or third interview and they're giving every indication that they're going to follow up with you, and then they just don't. Or you follow up with them and you follow up and you follow up, and again, you just hear nothing back. What you're experiencing is a normal part of the what we call the screen out process. So before you can get to like them actually hiring you, or before an employer gets to the point where they decide who they're going to hire, they screen out a lot of people. And for some employers, they're very respectful, very thoughtful around the experience of the people who apply for jobs with them. And they will absolutely like always follow up with you, no doubt. And then there are other employers who don't have that same focus. And their attitude is, if you're not moving forward, we're kind of done with you. What I need you to know is that that is a normal part of this process. It happens to all of us all of the time. And part of the reason that it happens is because in order to find that one candidate that you want to hire, there are a million details that an employer has to manage. And so there are going to be times when one of the details, such as following up with people who are not going to be moving forward, they are just not going to make the time to do that because they are so focused on the other tasks that they need to get accomplished. Is that right? Does it feel great? No and no, right? It doesn't feel great. But what I want you to do is consider taking your power back. Do not allow that ghosting experience to set you back on your heels, to make you feel, some kind of way about, this whole, applying for corporate jobs things. Don't do that. Like, don't do that. Know this. You are probably one of the few people who now know that it is part of the screen out process. It is normal. It happens to all of us. So now you can just let that go. So that's one thing. The second thing that I want you to consider doing is to treat your job search like a job. Like every day you do certain activities all the time. And when you are interviewing with employers and you're getting to that point where you've interviewed 2 or 3 times, you're pretty sure you're going to get a job offer, that is the day. Like when you, right after you have that interview and you say to yourself, oh, I got this job. That is the day that I want you to double or even triple your activity in terms of applying for positions. So I want you to double the amount of people that you talk to in your network, or I want you to double your amount of connection requests, or I want you to double the amount of resumes that you're sending out to employers. Why do I want you to do that? Because, sweetie, you do not have that job until you have that job. And should you be in a position where you think you got the job and you didn't, I want you to emotionally be able to kind of fall back on the fact that, you know what? It's just part of the process, not a problem. You have still continued to show up for yourself in that job search process and continued, regardless of what they did. You have taken your responsibility for what you needed to do, and you've continued to do that. So I just want you to consider that as a strategy to use to make sure that you stay on an even keel, because if you haven't already, you will experience what it feels like to be rejected, ignored, ghosted, and it can have a detrimental effect unless you have a very strategic and well thought out plan to manage it. So I hope this was helpful, and I will see you all soon. Thank you.